Good afternoon and welcome to the Tuesday, August 14th meeting of the Pitt County Department of Social Services Board. I'd like to call the meeting to order and observe a moment of silent prayer or silent meditation. Amen. Susan, do we have anybody signed up for public comments? Okay, great. Then at this time, since we have no one signed up for public comments, it's in order to adopt a motion to adopt the agenda, or if there are any revisions to the agenda.
So moved, with correction if necessary.
No second.
Okay, well, and I would like to just change the order a little bit and move up from the report, the recognition of our outgoing board member, to right there at the same time we are swearing in our new board member, if that's okay with everybody. So then we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adopting the agenda?
Aye.
First order of business inside the agenda package, you have the minutes from the July meeting. Are there any changes needed to those minutes? Then it's in order to have a motion to adopt the minutes as presented. Do we have such a motion?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the minutes as presented in the package. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now we're going to move to the swearing in of our new board member, Catherine Nelson, by Susan, our clerk to the board. Yes, she's going to do it right over there.
I, Catherine Nelson,
I, Catherine Nelson,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
I, Catherine Nelson,
I, Catherine Nelson,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities which are
and the authorities which are
or may be established
or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor
and that I will endeavor
to support, maintain, and defend
to support, maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
I, Catherine Nelson,
I, Catherine Nelson,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will well and truly
that I will well and truly
execute the duties of my office
execute the duties of my office
as a member of Pitt County Board of Social Services,
as a member of the Pitt County Board of Social Services,
according to the best of my skill and ability,
according to the best of my skill and my ability,
according to law, so help me God.
according to law, so help me God.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome to the board. And Catherine, for those who don't know you, who haven't known you all your life like me, why don't you tell the rest of the board what you do, and then the folks in the audience and our view in public.
Okay, my name's Catherine Nelson. I'm a native of Pitt County. I've lived here, I won't tell you how many years.
Not as many as me.
That's right. That's right. I'm a native of Pitt County, and I currently work at Vidant Medical Center. I'm the senior administrator for community health programs, and that covers our pediatric asthma program, our school nurse program, our injury prevention program, Pitt Partners for Health, and our Eastern Carolina injury prevention program and senior services.
And then
Sounds like a lot.
it's a lot to say grace over it. And if you'll start from this end and introduce yourself, in case Catherine doesn't know you.
Hi, I'm Sheila Bunch, the director of the School of Social Work at East Carolina.
Hello, I'm Mary Perkins Williams, elected by the Pitt County residents of District 2 to the Pitt County Board of Commissioners. And District 2 is over there across the river over there.
And I'm Jan Elliott.
And I'm Melanie Bryan.
And Jim Cox.
Gwen Burns.
Becky Stark.
Susan May, the secretary to the board.
Okay. And then the next item on our agenda is we would like to thank our outgoing board member, Ms. Becky Starkey, who gave the agency 30 good years, plus, maybe, and then gave the board 6 years as well. I'm not making you go down there.
You so sweet.
She moved it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very bittersweet. It's like I told Gwen and Ms. Elliott, my first 31 years here I consider as undergraduate school. My 6 years on the board is graduate school. Pretty soon I'm going to be coming back for my PhD. But I greatly appreciate the honor of having served on this board. Pitt County is a very special county. The people in it are super duper, and I'm proud to be a part, a legacy, and a veteran of DSS. Truly am.
And now, since some of these folks might want to say a few words to you, we're going to take a quick break. There's some snacks in the back, and everybody can chill, and we'll come back about 20 after. How about that? That work? Welcome back, and thank you for allowing us that small break to socialize. We are going to now move right into business, and the next item on the agenda are our items for consent. And on the consent agenda, we have a crisis intervention program budget amendment, an adoption promotion budget amendment, another
Can't we just
adoption
approve that
promotion
without-
budget amendment, and then roll forward funds from the prior fiscal year. If anybody has questions about those 4 budget amendments, let us know. Otherwise, a motion to adopt them is in order.
So moved.
And I'll second.
So all those in favor, typically for our new board member, consent items are adjustments once we get the state's numbers to true our estimate up to the state number. It's a routine matter. It's not like we're changing a major program or something. So there is a motion and a second to adopt the 4 budget amendments as presented. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, and then the next piece up there is, this is the time of year where we review the director's work plan, and that she will then be evaluated on at the end of the fiscal year. So, Jan, if you want to highlight
Right.
that.
Right. This is very much like last year's work plan. As opposed to developing the strategic plan, which was in last year's work plan, this year we're utilizing the strategic plan to, in decision-making and budget development and reporting progress. So that's why that performance objective changed. The other performance objectives stayed the same, except for on page 2, you will see ensure agency is in compliance with the standards as outlined in MOU. And so that would be the second change. The rest of it is exactly what was last year's work plan, because most of it remains pretty similar. So I'll answer any questions anybody may have, but.
And the change for MOU is because this is our first year with
Right.
having this formal agreement with the
Right.
state.
Right. And this maintenance of effort does give us compliance standards that we need to do.
So, unless there are concerns, a motion to adopt this as Jan's work plan for evaluation purposes is in order.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt the director's work plan. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then we'll move to the items for report. We've already recognized Becky Starkey, and we are again appreciative of the 37 years she's given Pitt County and Pitt County DSS. Child support awareness, Michelle McCorkle.
This month is Child Support Awareness Month. In your board packets, we also had a copy of the proclamation that was signed by our Governor Cooper proclaiming August as Child Support Awareness Month. We have with us here today some of our child support staff. We wanted to recognize them. The remaining portion of our staff are still in the office managing our daily work functions. But we have some of our child support staff. We would like for them to stand, please. Thank you. And in keeping with Pitt County's motto of leader in the state, best in the East, we wanted to share with you what our achievements were this year with our child support self-assessment goals and incentives. And to make our presentation today, we have our child support establishment supervisor. That is Ms. Sonia Scott. If she would come forward, please. Ms. Scott is also serves on a part of our board of directors for our professional organization, North Carolina Child Support Council. She currently serves as the chairperson of our membership and scholarship committees, as well as on the executive board as our secretary. And we also have with us today to present Ms. Renee Davis-Jones. She is our enforcement supervisor. She also serves on the Board of Directors with our North Carolina Child Support Council. This is her second rotation on the board. Previously, she served 2 terms, and during that time frame, she also served as treasurer of our council for a number of years. But this year, she is chairperson of our Networking Entertainment Committee, as well as our Charity and Raffles Committee. So we'll hear from both of our supervisors at this time.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to go over some of the goals and objectives and achievements we had for this fiscal year. Our goals and objectives, as you can see, are paternity establishment, percentage of cases under order, collection of child support payments and child support arrears, total collections, and self-assessment. With our self-assessment goals, as you can see, our fiscal year is, of course, July of 2017 to June of 2018. So as of June 2018 for the year, with our case closure, our goal is 90%. We exceeded that by 9.61%. Our enforcement self-assessment was 84.17. As you can see, we exceeded by 9.17. Establishment was 78.18. Expedited 12-month process was 94.66. Expedited 6 months was 89.54. Interstate was 78.57%. Review and adjustment was 99.82%. We exceeded in all of our goals for the past fiscal year. So great job, everyone. Our federal incentive goals, we also have federal incentive goals that we must meet each year. And those 5 goals are paternity, the number of paternities we establish. And our goal was 100%. We actually met it by 101.94%. So we exceeded that as well. Our percent of cases under order, of course, is the number of cases we have under order compared to the number of cases we are trying to obtain in order. And our score for that was 89.02%. Our goal was 88.48%. So we exceeded it in that. Our collection rate, our score for as of June of 2018 was 66.10%. Our goal was 67.25%, so we missed that just by a little bit. Payment to arrears, same thing. Our score for that was 68.80%, and our goal was 69.02%. And again, less than 1 percentage point of meeting that. Our total collections, we collected over $15 million for the children of Pitt County for the fiscal year, and our score was 101.54%. So we exceeded our goal there. So we stay busy, and everyone does an excellent job in getting things done.
As Ms. McCorkle stated, this month is our Child Support Awareness Month. And with our Child Support Awareness, we try to promote unity within our staff. We try to show them the appreciation that they deserve every day by working hard and diligently to obtain the funds for the children of Pitt County. In that, we had a Child Support Awareness Walk on August the 7th. And on August the 7th, we had approximately 50 people that came out and participated with the walk. We had various departments to come out from the Department of Social Services to come out and walk with the child support agents. We had community partners come out and walk with us. We had Sarah Beth Rose from the Clerk of Court come over and walk with us, as well as part of her staff. We also had Judge Perez to come over and walk with us during our August the 7th walk. We had our local newspaper to come out and provide coverage, as well as 2 TV stations provided coverage during our walk. Our next slide that you see here is the structure of the child support program. And with our legal department and our sheriff's department that works well with our child support agents, we're able to better serve our citizens and our children of Pitt County. Next, I would like to introduce you to our child support awareness video for the month. So with no further wait time, here's our video.
Thank you.
I think child support has a huge impact on families. Being able to provide for your child is a parent's greatest accomplishment, and making sure that they have everything they need.
We attempt to assure that children can live the same type of lifestyle that they would live if both parents were residing together. To allow children to be able to participate in extracurricular activities or sports or whatever it may be, so that they can have as much as a normal life as possible.
I love working for child support because I love working with kids and helping the kids, because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, helping get money for kids.
When the payments are being made, child support payments are being made, it makes the parents able to work better together, and they're able to function more as a family. And then it tells the client that he's willing to help, and that that gives her more room to let him see the children, and that gives them a better bond because he's willing to do that. He's willing to help out.
The child support program has basically grown from 1975, being a program with one worker, and having that worker collect $2,600 for the fiscal year, to it now being a program in excess of 25 employees, in which we, this past fiscal year, collected almost $15.5 million.
The child support profession is ever changing. We are no longer what's best for the client. We are a family, what's best for the child. We try to be fair and open-minded, and that's one of the things that I have grown to like best about this program.
Getting the money for the child should be the most important thing that we look at, not punishing the father for not being in their life, or the main focus is to make sure that the child has all their needs. Some of their wants, but the main thing is that they're being taken care of by both parents.
Back in the day, the defendant would have to file his own motion if he wanted a decrease in his child support, and that kind of deterred a lot of people from doing that. And now we've gone from that to all they have to do is call us, and then we'll do a review on the case ourselves. If he lost his job or anything like that, we'll do a review ourselves and get the right size order, versus putting it on them to do it, so that he's not going 2 to 3 years paying an astronomical amount and he's not working.
Not only are we ever changing as far as our policies and procedures, we're ever changing as far as technology.
It has become a lot more user-friendly for the clients as well as for the employees. The clients can now go online and actually do the applications themselves and look at the information as to what's going on their cases.
Instead of having to come in or having to send it off to centralized collections, they can go online where it's going to be a quicker turnaround time.
I have a lot more making payments online and requesting how to do that than they ever have before. With them being able to pay online, it has helped dramatically in our delinquency of child support cases.
Our goals are federally mandated incentive goals, as well as federally mandated self-assessment goals.
The self-assessment helps us achieve our goals and pushes us to do better and keep our customer service up, and along with taking care of our clients and making sure that they're paying their child support, because that's our main goal, is to get the money for the children.
In terms of our incentive goals, we monitor those very closely each month to be able to determine how we're progressing in terms of hoping that we're able to meet those goals by the end of the fiscal year, and then be able to identify particular areas that may need special attention or focus throughout the year in an attempt to meet our goals by the end of the fiscal year. This particular past fiscal year, we were successful in meeting 3 of the 5 incentive goals, and the 2 that we did not meet, we were less than a percentage point from achieving those goals as well.
That's one of the things that I love best about child support. It's ever changing and it's always challenging.
Anytime that a child is given the means to bloom or flower in their life, it is a huge impact on our society. If a child is given the means to go to college or finish high school now, that's a huge, providing for them is showing their true potential, and it's going to make our society better.
So if anyone would have any questions for us, we will answer them at this time.
I have a question. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do every single day for the kids of Pitt County.
Great job.
And for making Michelle's job easy, because she has to come up here and tell us your status. The next item on items to report is the quarterly update. Jan Elliott.
Right. I think Angela's going to run the clicker for me. You should have both the spreadsheet that we have done and a copy of the slides, because I know lots of y'all like to have the slides. We put the slides, I believe, at your desk, so you'll have those. I'm not going to go over every single slide in any detail. We're just going to kind of hit some of the high spots for you. But certainly, I know we do have a new board member, and so some of this may need a little bit of explanation. What I think is great is that, for the most part, you have in this slideshow a 3-year period that you can look at and see how we have progressed. We've been doing this for about 3 years, and and this will be our last report using this format because of the new contract with the state and the maintenance of effort and a memorandum of understanding. So we won't see it quite this way anymore. So the first thing we've got, obviously, is how things are going in our food and nutrition program. And, one of the things that I want to point out to y'all is that we did over 24,000 food stamp applications and redeterminations, and that's a significant number in a given year. We, as you can see, are doing things for the most part on time. We had some problems, but we are certainly on the correct path. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Accuracy in food stamps, again, is something that's really important. The federal government looks at us for accuracy, and as you can see, we've had periods of time that we're meeting the accuracy standards, and other times that we are not, and so we continue to strive to do that and do better. With Medicaid, you can see that we are on the upward path with that. We have come a long way with our Medicaid, and again, just to point out, we take over 5,000 Medicaid applications in any given year. Our redeterminations also are done on time. As you can see, that has certainly improved, and we do over 23,000 reviews a year for Medicaid. If you look at Medicaid accuracy, and as we all know, with the law that was passed in the last, not the short session, but the last long session, we were made responsible for Medicaid error payments if they are discovered through the audit, the single audit, or through some state review. So we certainly monitor ourselves, and as you can see, we are to be 100% accurate because it's any error that we make. We are striving to at least meet the federal standards, which are 97%, and we aren't quite there yet, but we continue to work at it. Another thing we have been tracking over the last few years is looking at our wait times. And as we all know, during the winter seasons, our wait times go up, but you can get a sense that we generally run somewhere in the 20-minute time frame, and I think our highest wait times this year were 28 minutes. As far as child support, I'm not going to talk about child support because you've just had a lovely child support presentation, so we're going to skip through those real quick unless somebody has a question. And you have a sense from Michelle about just the numbers of child support cases that we have. Child care, we went into child care this past year with NC Fast, and it has been interesting ever since. As you can see, our numbers receiving subsidized child care have slowly gone down, and we saw some reduction in funds this past year. We are now on the upwards side of things. We are going to try and take some children off the waiting list now. We have some additional monies. There's going to also be an increase in payments to providers in October. But we are working on this. Again, implementation of NC Fast has handicapped us with child care. Talking about our disabled adults, the biggest thing I want to point out with our disabled adults is if you look at, and this is just showing the last couple of quarters, but if I go back to the first quarter of 2016-17, we had 89 individuals that were reports. So the numbers have continued to climb there. Making decisions, guardianship kinds of cases, again, if you went back to the first quarter of 16-17, we had 98 cases that folks that we were guardian for, and as you can see, we're now in the 130 range. Ensuring that our disabled adults are living in safe, stable, and least restrictive environment. Again, we want to enable folks to stay home if at all possible. And one of the things that I'm excited about is that we actually used 100% of our allotted SA in-home case allotment, and in fact got some additional slots. So we are tickled that we were able to do that and get those additional slots for our folks. The other thing, again, we have folks, the respite piece goes up and down based on what's going on in the families. It's not going to be consistent, and the cap slots. One of the things you have to get all the partners together to make do the assessments and get everything in place in a timely manner. But we are utilizing the slots that we have. We've increased those numbers, I believe, significantly. So, going to CPS. Again, you see the goals there, and we fluctuate here. It's something that we will continue to strive to work on. A variety of things causes this, and right now we are at the goal that we're supposed to be at. But as you can see, certainly we have struggled to maintain that over the 3 years. So when you move into the foster care youth having reunification within 12 months, again, we've been on an upward trend until just recently. We hope to get back on that upward trend. Part of this is due to the turnover we've had in staff and not been able to work the cases like we would like to. When you are at about 25% turnover, you find that the staff are carrying many more cases than they should be, and it takes a lot of work to get these into court and to do what needs to be done. So that has been impacting us. The number of placements, we have been doing well for a while, and we are definitely on a downward spiral here, and I will say that is in part because we are getting children who are severely fragile. Many of them have significant mental health issues, which results in some difficulty with treatment plans, getting them into the right facilities. Mental health has to help us authorize certain types of placements, and that takes a while, and so children might move some until we get that right placement set up. So again, are working to try and address that. Again, trying to keep children from moving a lot. We do better in the 12 to 24 month time frame with keeping children in more stable placements. But again, there are a variety of issues, and mostly it's when you're working with children with significant mental health needs. The children in 1 or 2 temporary placements who've been in care for longer than 24 months, again, consider continuing to, we go up and then we have come back down again. Our vacancy, time to fill vacancies has held pretty steady. We have the outliers. It's taken over a year in a couple of cases to fill social work positions in child welfare, and we have at least one in adult services that has rapidly come into a year. It's just been very difficult to find folks for those positions that meet the qualifications that are required. If you look at our revenues and our expenditures this year, with the 13th month, and I know Melanie will understand 13th month, we got 83%, a little 83.5% actually, of our revenues this year through the settlements. So we did very well on that, and you'll see that on the next page we only spent 87% of our budget. So there's a correlation between revenues and budget. And this was a year that we had a transition from the state, from us paying some things and the state now paying some things. So the budget this year needed to level out because of transferring dollars back and forth between the county to the state. So that created some of that confusion. So I will stop because I ran through this very quickly to see what questions folks have. You've seen this before for the most part, and we will continue to track a lot of these things, whether we report them to you or not, because they are important for us.
I'd like to ask a question as it relates to seniors'
Yes, ma'am.
placement. And when seniors think that they are having a hard time maintaining it on their own, how do they go about getting out of where they are to a place like a senior facility or whatever, without having to go through a long line of waiting, because the person is getting frustrated and is worried about her well-being?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. If you need to go into some type of an assisted living situation, then what you would do would be to have you or your family member contact the special assistance unit at social services, and we could take that application and assist you with getting into some type of special assistance. We can also help you with nursing home placement if that's the level you need. If you're trying to remain in your own home, then typically you would talk with our adult services staff, or you could talk with our economic services staff, and they would get you connected.
Because the person doesn't want to stay in their own home because it's so far out.
Right.
And the children are all gone, and she has seizures. And has been is concerned about her well-being.
Right. Now, to go into any type of placement, you will have to have the doctor to specify what level of placement you need to go in. But she can contact, or somebody on her behalf, with her permission, can contact us, and we'll work through that with her.
All right.
Okay?
And I do have a question. On number 5, when we talked about the 100% accuracy in terms of the Medicaid, and we're at 95% now, are there financial implications for that, or at what point do they kick in?
Well, this is our checking of our records. So we don't, we're not responsible for reporting those errors. We're catching those errors and we're fixing them.
Gotcha.
But if the audit firm that is here today were to find one of those cases an error, then that financial penalty would kick in then. Or if our state monitors come in and find a case that is an error through a monitoring process, then that would kick in. And I believe I've heard 20-plus counties are in some type of payback right now based on last year's audit. So.
We're not doing that.
We had no errors last year. I'm crossing my fingers for this year.
And that was effective when?
That was effective July 1 of last year.
17.
Other questions?
Other questions? Then status of agency personnel continues to be your time.
Status of agency personnel is continuing to be an issue. However, I am excited because actually, of these 18 vacant positions, 6 of them are the new positions that the commissioners added to the budget this year. And so probably our service unit is recruiting has the smallest amount of turnover vacancies that they've had in a whole year. So I'm excited about that. We just closed on those 6 positions and are beginning to get the recruitment information about who has applied on those 6 positions. So hopefully in the next few weeks we can have interviews scheduled and start moving forward. Everywhere else we're moving fairly quickly with getting things resolved. It's just been tough in our services area. So that's where we are with that. Anybody got any questions?
In the training, that training program that's at Pitt.
Yes, ma'am.
Any of them coming from that?
We have had a few applicants from there that we've hired. We are also, our new hires who have not got any experience in NC Fast, we are sending them back through that program and paying for that for the new hires if they haven't done that. And they have to do that within the first year that they're here.
That's good.
Okay, so that's reinforcement. And then we go next, I believe, to our Medicaid processing. And if you remember, last month we did not have our report, but as you can see, you have now, you've got the whole 12 months, and we passed last month and this month. We are held accountable for processing our Medicaid for disabled at 90%. And our other Medicaid at 90%, and you can see we're processing at 97% for our MAD and 94% for our other Medicaid. We are required to process all applications if they're MAD applications within 90 days, and we are in fact doing that within 60 days. And the same thing with our other Medicaid, we're responsible for processing within 45 days, and we are processing within 39 days. So staff are doing a really good job, and I can remember when we started, when I started here a few years ago, we were struggling to do that, but staff have definitely stepped up. They're trained. There's less turnover. The system is, although not working perfectly, is working better. And so, again, real proud of what staff are accomplishing. And as I told you last month, we did get the waiver for March. So at this point, we have no months that are causing us any problems. Again, just for history, 3 months, 3 consecutive months or 5 months out of 12 where we do not make the required process and timeliness standards, we can be held accountable, corrective action, and potentially state takeover if we don't meet those requirements. So that's why this is just critically important. It's also critically important for our clients that they get their benefits as quickly as possible, because when you need Medicaid, you need to go to the doctor, you need your drugs. It's important that we do this as quickly as we can. So I have that. Anybody got a question about that? Okay. The other thing, we talked about the fact that we're going to start, we will have our first reports on the MOU performance standards. The first report's to be the end of this month. They are anticipating having it out. So what we have done is kind of giving you a draft example of what that might look like. Hopefully I'll have some lines here. But wanted you to take a look and see if you think this kind of helps you. What we're hoping to do is if we have not met the standard for a particular area, we would highlight it in blue. If we have, again here you have a 3 consecutive month or 5 out of 12 months. So if we're at corrective action risk, we would start putting red bars for you. If our performance is certainly improving, we would let you highlight that for you, and if our performance continues to decline, we would be highlighting so that you could just look at it at a glance and kind of see where we are. It looks like this for anybody who needs to find theirs. I'm entertaining suggestions as to how this might look better, and obviously the 12 months is a rolling 12 months, so you might drop off some months and you might add some months. It'll constantly be a moving target. But our first report should be available for you for the September meeting. That report will not count because we're not officially in account mode until January, with the exception of child support and the Medicaid processing, because those are things we're already being held accountable for. But any of these new things, we will not be held accountable for until January. And the other thing is that there's still some discussion about the mandated performance requirements in child protection, in energy, in adult services, in child care, because those are new things for all of us. And there is some acknowledgement that if you're sitting at 40% today, you can't be at 90% tomorrow. So they may give us incremental goals, and that's what they're still talking about, how that might look. And as long as we're making progress towards the goal, then perhaps we will not be at risk of some of these penalties. So give me any feedback you got after you've taken a look at it, all of y'all, and we can certainly, try and adjust it. I noticed, that we need to get we need to change the bars here on the left-hand side so they match with the program areas, because that'll help you. It's a little drift there, so that'll help you with that. And again, I think lines will help, but this was just to give you a beginning look at it.
I guess you can't help about the size of the font. But,
well, that would give you more pages. I could help with the size of the font. And I understand the need for the size of the font, but that would give you many more pages if we,
No, but this is any smaller, I can't have.
No, we can't go smaller. We'd have to go bigger if we did anything.
Go big or go home.
That's right. That's right. So y'all think about if you'd rather have 3 pages maybe instead of 2, and that would give you a little bit more, size there. But just this is what we're thinking about. Okay. Okay. You had also at your table the newspaper article about the child support walks. I wanted to share that with you. The only other things you have at your desk or your place information about the Social Services Institute. I need to know by Friday who is going, who wants to go. The workshops, I've highlighted the board information for you so that you could see what those workshops would look like and what days they're on. So email me and let me know if you want to go. You've got your dates and the information and how many, what days you plan to be there so that we can get your motel booked and so that we can get your workshops signed up for. And we, of course, will pay for the motel, we'll pay the registration, and we would reimburse you for your travel. What's her name, Nancy?
Nancy, since you're new, I found that even though the board training, I know you're going to take that, but if you can roam around through some of the other, it will sort of bring you up to snuff. They won't tell you that, but it might help to wander into the others to get a feel by today and what's happening now.
So we'll get you all signed up, anybody who wants to go. The only other thing I have, and then I think we've got something for Melanie to do, is I put at your place some information about Medicaid and the transition to managed care. It's does you or someone in your family get Medicaid or NC Health Choice. Wanted you to have that information because this is a handout or something like this. It'll start being given to the clients. Also, you've got the map for the proposed prepaid health plan regions. I will tell you that the enrollment broker has been selected, and that is Maximus, will be the enrollment broker. That RFP has been awarded. The prepaid health plan RFP has been released, and those are due on October the 12th. October the 12th. The Division of Medical Assistance is no more. It's been around for 50-odd years, and it is now the Division of Health Benefits, and the branding is NC Medicaid. So if you hear those kinds of things, that is what is there. So we'll keep you informed. Probably need to do a session on nothing but what's going on with Medicaid transformation for the board, at least as far as I know, in the not too far distant future.
Yes.
So,
That seems strange that DMA is no more.
DMA is no more.
Wow.
So,
And then the next item on the items for report is just our board compact, and typically at the start of a fiscal year, we try to get, it's our code of conduct that was drafted back November of 2014 at our retreat. And then our compact with the executive director on what we do as opposed to what Jan as the director does. And so we have the new copies. It's not new information, it's the annual information to be signed by the new board now that we have our new member in place. This would have happened typically in July, but we didn't have a new member at that point in time. So, ma'am?
We get a copy of the new one, the new contract?
it was sent in your board package, it was sent by email and it was put in your board package. Should have been, okay? Okay, well, we can make sure you have a copy.
Yes,
Nothing
because it's
changed.
not in mine, it's
Okay.
not in mine.
Nothing's changed, so.
Okay, I picked it up and brought it, I'm not like that.
But we would love to have everybody sign it before they leave today. And then, next item on the agenda is just board member comments. And rather than put Catherine on the spot, we'll start down with Dr. Bunch.
Dr. Bunch, you got comments?
Any comments?
No, just a shout out to those who do child support enforcement to better the lives of children and to make sure that there is some economic sustainability in families. And to thank Becky Starkey for her many years of service to Pitt County Department of Social Services.
Ditto to all of that, Dr. Bunch has said. And at this time, I certainly want to make a plug-in as to what a new initiative that I'm working on. You know, there are a lot of book bags being given away. And while I was on vacation, it popped up on my telephone. I tell you, these new phones. The district, just as far as education was, it just didn't look like we're that concerned. So what I wanted to do was issue, and this is social service, and a social plea to the district too, that we as community residents get involved with our children so that we can reduce crime, boost their morale, and so we went out and started collecting book bags. And everyone is giving away book bags, but what we wanted to do, and this is the faith community over there, together with the faith community, we've got some support from Dr. Grant Hayes, the Dean of College of Education at East Carolina University. I've talked with the Department of Social Services right here, and I've talked with the Social Service Department of the Pitt County Schools. So we've come together because we are trying to not duplicate the effort of giving. We have big hearts in this company, and you hear it all on TV about all the book bags. But we want to say to the parents that we want you to listen to your child read once a month. Cut the television off after dinner, and so that the child can have some time for education. I'd like to see us raise the bar for education in our district. If we're going to spend money on helping you supply your child with the tools they need for education, then be grateful for that by filling the PTA meetings, and I will be going this year to the various ones in my district. There are 7 schools in my district, 5 elementary and 3 joint and 1 high school and middle. So we want to fill the PTA, and we want all of the parents to attend all of your teacher-child parents conferences. And let the child know that you care, and we will come together at the end of the year. At one of the churches at the Faith Community, we have a very nice dinner for all of you who will be involved. And we certainly want to have all of the supporters there with us, Department of Social Service and the Office of Pitt County Department of Social Services and the dean, so that we can look at some of you face to face in our community. We will have a dinner, we will give away cash prizes, and that means I gotta work, and give away some gifts to those parents who have actually done that. And we're gonna come up with a way that we can monitor and track this so that the schools can feel good and healthy. So I just wanted you all to know that we're starting something new. We're working hard over there. And I'd like to thank Jan Elliott and the Department of Social Services for helping the district with their adoption of a highway. And we are looking cleaner. We are looking cleaner. The communities come together. And I've never thanked you personally, but I'd like to thank you for picking up the trash. We do look better over there. And we're going to continue. And thank you. We hope you continue too. So I just want to put that plug in to say thank you, because we've not had the support that we've gotten recently. And I really appreciate it. That was long, wasn't it?
Sure. Yeah, certainly I want to recognize Becky like everybody else, and I want to welcome Catherine to our board. I look forward to working with her. I had the opportunity to attend the North Carolina DSS Board Members Association this past Friday. So went there with a lot of questions, did a lot of listening, asked a few questions, but came back with a lot more. So came away with, there's just a whole lot going on right now within the Division of Social Services. And so I've scheduled some time to maybe sit with Jan a little bit and try to piece some of this together. But it's kind of it felt like an ominous time, but also a lot of time for opportunity too. So look forward to putting that together. The other thing I want to mention that I had the opportunity to, I wasn't real involved in much other than facilitating, but the family unification grant that the department submitted in conjunction with the Greenville Housing Authority. It was an opportunity to receive some vouchers to support children that were, families of children that were involved in the social service system. And so social services stepped up along with the Housing Authority, and we got that grant submitted. It came down through HUD and our Continuum of Care in North Carolina. It's pretty exciting that we could pull that off and put it together, and I have my fingers together. It could be really a nice addition to some of our housing needs here in Greenville and Pitt County. So that's it.
I just want to say that I'm just really excited about being on this board. I've learned a whole lot just being here today. So it's going to be a real honor and privilege to do this. And I know my learning curve is, I'm going to have to work on it and do a lot of reading, but I do appreciate the opportunity to serve the county.
And we love acronyms, so if we use one that doesn't make sense, stop us. Stop us. Some of us, well, I just know, I have years with the county, so I knew, but we get up here and then what we call one thing, that means something totally different if you're, you know. I use an example, CAMA. For me, that was computer aided mass appraisal. That's how we appraise properties. But if you're a planner, that's Coastal Area Management Association. So what we call something and what you all use the same acronym for at the hospital could be very different. So don't let us go down a path and have you going. Always interrupt us if we need to. But otherwise, our next meeting is September the 11th, same room, same location. And Jan has put some upcoming events on your calendar to be privy to. And other than that, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's time to go.